Alright, so where we left off with the mountain board build is I decided I was going to get a new trucks and make a new deck and basically take what I learned and create a whole new setup from it. So the first thing I tried was I wanted to see what I could press out of Baltic birch. So this was my test piece, trying to do a 40-degree bend with a 3-inch inside radius with all 4 sheets of plywood being lengthwise. So yeah, so this bend I think is pretty incredible. So while this worked really well, I realized just how much force some of these extreme bending is going to take, and I kind of became hesitant about building a new mold for that reason. So I realized I had made this wacky board here for my compliant trucks project. So this isn't the same geometry as I wanted to press, but it's, you know, relatively close. It's close enough for me to appreciate whether or not I'm on the right track and to test other various parts of what I wanted to experiment with. So for instance, I've made it so the foot platform is below the roll axis in the back and above it in the front, and the whole deck is kind of pitched upwards. I gave that a go. I'm gonna see if this amount of drop is even reasonable, this amount of turning is reasonable. I want to see if I can get away with this really small foot platform. There's just lots of little things I can test and eliminate with this setup before going to have to build a whole new press, and I think that's just a better way to go. And it's a similar story with the trucks. So with the trucks, I decided to be easier to model after the existing P2s rather than customizing it a whole lot right off the bat. Get it out and get something rideable that's just one step ahead, one step closer to what I'm thinking I want to do, rather than going, 5 steps all at once. So I've got these 3D printed hangers. I actually ordered aluminum to make the base plates out of, but then I realized, for this early step, why would I use up my aluminum I bought when I can, for a 0-degree truck, there's nothing to it. All you've got to do is hold the hanger in place and have a place for the cam to go. There's the cam. So really there's hardly anything to the base plates at all. Wood base plates makes it easy to experiment with just moving them around a lot more freely. I don't have to drill out holes. I can just bring a drill with me when I'm riding it and move these up and down and test the different heights and different wheelbases and all that stuff. And I'll save the aluminum I bought for when I've got a bit more of an idea of what I want to do. But one thing I did do is I did extend the slots on the hangers by quite a bit, so this board can lean out easily 40 degrees. So if I were to put super carved cams on this, I'm willing to bet this thing could lean out 45 degrees. I've also made the axle width a little bit wider. I've added one more washer, and I've made the axles long enough where I can add another washer still, so I can play around with narrower and wider hangers a little bit. So if this board works out really, really well, right now it's kind of weak. I made this board just kind of as a one-off, just for making that compliant trucks video. But if it seems like it's going to work out well, what I'm going to do is I'll glass the bottom so it won't snap. Because if you were to jump on this, it would snap. So that's where we're at. So I'm just getting ready to take it out to the local park. But if all goes well there, we're going to go head up back to Popperton Park again and try to see if it slaloms any better than the previous one. Alright, so I'm all padded up. First thing I'm going to say, I've already noticed, is this grass is way slower than the other grass. The ground's softer as well. But it kind of even makes it more scary because it means I have to go over so much steeper terrain. Oh, you know what? That feels way better than the previous one. That was fast for a second there, and that felt fine. Okay, let's try again. I'm definitely having to be very careful and cautious because I got a camera and I don't want to really do some actual hard carving with a camera. So I'm just going to kind of tack across. And this feels alright, This feels way better, even just tacking across. Feels good. Okay, I'm gonna head down now. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. I think that's good. Here's where I'm thinking I maybe should have brought my helmet cam. Because I can't film and ride and do what I want to try to do. So what I want to do next, which I won't be able to film for, is I'm just going to try to go down and just do edge to edge carving, try to see how slow I can keep it going. And then I'm going to start at the bottom, bomb, come a little up, bomb, come a little up, bomb, come a little up, and see how far I can get up going fast before I feel like it's no longer comfortable and confident. Alright, so I slowly work my way up to the top, and I think I'm feeling confident enough to just bomb straight down. I don't need to focus on much like I do when I'm carving, so I think I'm confident just take the camera with me and see what it captures. So, there we go. I held the camera down too much, but well, you get the idea. That's the hill. It's extremely steep. Once you get going, you just go. It's pretty crazy. So this is actually a nice quiet spot away from wind. So let's talk. So this feels incredibly more comfortable than the previous version. We've definitely gone in a good direction. So basically I feel like I'll just need some time with the deck to figure out some of the subtleties of what I'd like to change and where I'd like to go with it. So I feel like the greatest challenge to the riding at the moment is the fact that because the hill is so steep, when you're pointed downhill, even when you're just doing switchbacks and carving edge to edge, for the moment you're pointing downhill, you gain so much speed. And then when you cut sideways, you lose so much speed. So it's actually really hard to dice it up and take it into nice carves because of the speed discrepancy between going straight and cutting across. And I don't know how to address that other than maybe, I mean, the thing, you build up so much speed in just that little bit you're going downhill. The only thing I can think of is to have a smaller turning radius so that you can make that downhill section smaller. But trying to do that is of course going to make the setup even more turny and twitchy and less stable. So I guess we'll have to see if there's just a balance there we have to find, or if there's just some riding technique to help you deal with that, and once you get used to it then it becomes manageable or something like that. But that's my impressions riding this down the hill. I'd also say that this feels way more comfortable even without bindings than the previous setup felt with bindings. It is so much better. And basically I'm 100% right now on glassing this up and keeping this going as long as we can and learning as much as we can from it. This is riding so well, I'm not all that eager to jump onto the next new thing. I'm interested in what it has to say to us. So I'm going to go ahead and order that glass and make this board just a little bit neater and nicer and make it less likely to break. So I'm probably going to take this out riding again really soon, and then in a couple weeks I'm going to be heading up to Idaho to meet with Riley, and I'm going to bring this and we'll try to get some actual mountain boarding in with Riley, and we might need the bindings for that. This might be real trail riding, so, or it might not be. We'll see how capable it is. So there we go. That's the mountain board update for now. Longboard technology over and out.